Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you guys a review on these very hot new products, Juvias Place I Am Magic Concealer and Foundation. These are fairly new. I received them I think Thursday or Friday. I did post on Thursday or Friday that I received my products and I'm super excited. A couple of you messaged me asking to let you guys know what I thought about these and how I liked them and how it worked out. So since we had a long weekend, I decided to go ahead and try it over the weekend. Now I didn't do that 3-day wear test like I did for Jeffree Star products because honestly it is a hassle to not a hassle so much to try it out like that, but to actually edit that video and condense it to the least amount of time possible to where I can still have all the information from each day that I need was just really tough. And I don't want to give you guys another like 30-minute video because a lot of you guys aren't interested in that long of a video. You guys just want to know if it worked, how it worked, and all that. So we're going to start off with the foundation. This is a box and this is a foundation. Now I really like the packaging. I don't mind that it doesn't have a pump. I actually like that it's a little squeeze tube because it is a more full coverage foundation. I kind of like that better. This foundation is available in 42 shades. It does retail for $20. It has 1.0 fluid ounce. And the color is like a really pretty like corally salmon color. I really like the color of the packaging. Obviously it's very unique and it stands out from all my other foundations which have, you know, that typical foundation packaging. Now the concealer, it looks like this. It's a really chubby concealer. I really like that about it. I don't know why. Let me show you guys a couple of my other concealers. So this is the Milani concealer and this is the L'Oreal Infallible. Now I want you guys to see the size difference on the packaging. And it is very noticeable how chubby and chunky this concealer is. The only other big concealer that I have like that in my collection is Too Faced Born This Way. And I would say it's almost close to the size. It's a little bit, this one's a little bit bigger. But as you can see, just so you guys know when you get it, it's a honker. It's chubby and I personally like it. Now this is available in 24 shades. It is $14 and it has 0.34 fluid ounces. I am looking down because I have my notes. And the packaging is the same, the box packaging. Now the color I have in the concealer is number 20, which is at the bottom of the concealer, and it is also at the bottom of the box. And the foundation, I bought the shade 550 Martinique. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You have a little clear sticker right here with the shade, color, and number. And then on the box, it's at the top of the box. It has the shade, color. I hope it's focused. Now, one very important thing that I want to mention with this foundation is that for me, with their 42 shades, it feels like it's very inclusive, especially for darker skin tones, which is very important. There's foundation brands that have 100 shades of foundation and it still doesn't feel like it's very inclusive towards deeper skin tones. This, with their 42 shades, I feel like they did such an amazing job at being very fair with each shade range. Light has a fair amount, medium, and then deep, and then darker has, like, they all have the equal amount of shades, which I feel is very important because they included everyone and they were very inclusive with the shades. I know I can't really speak for the deeper shades, but just based off seeing a lot of other foundation brands and a lot of other foundation launches, this is the most inclusive I've seen a foundation shade range be, with only 42 shades, which is pretty amazing in my opinion. The concealer shades, I feel like it's the same. They don't have like an extensive range of shades, but they have the ones that are needed, and they have one for every color family, which I feel is very important. And I also feel like the price of these is not like high-end pricing, and it's also not like super cheap, but it's like in the middle. I feel like at the same time, drugstore makeup is becoming like expensive. It's coming to the $20 range, a $15 range, $14 range for some products. So these concealers, this concealer is $14, the foundation is $20. Very, very good price in my opinion. Now, reading off of my notes right here, the foundation, it's a very full coverage foundation, and it does claim to be full coverage. It says that at the back of the packaging right here. It's highlighted right there that it's full coverage. Now, this is a full coverage foundation that is not thick, that is not heavy whatsoever. I feel like it gives a coverage because it has so much pigment in it. It has very high pigment, which gives the coverage that we need without being full and like cakey and thick. I would say it feels very, very creamy for being a full coverage foundation, which I personally can appreciate that because you guys know I'm a full coverage lover. Now, foundations that I have in my collection that I've tried that I would think like, you know, this one is comparable to, which aren't. Like full coverage wise, my Huda Beauty, my YSL All Hours foundation, Morphe foundation, Urban Decay All Nighter foundation, Kat Von D I've tried, Marc Jacobs foundation, that's like the full coverage one. What else? The Estee Lauder foundations, that those very full coverage ones. I feel like I like this so much better because it doesn't get cakey. It doesn't feel cakey on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy at all. But remember, these are my experiences with this foundation after trying so many full coverage foundations. This is how I feel about this one. And this foundation, a little goes a long way. Me, usually with my other full coverage foundations, 2 pumps. This foundation, like I barely gotta squeeze it out and just dot it all over my face because that will literally cover everything. You do not need to do like a full squirt, like a half one, and that works. You're good to go. And I've never been the type of person to listen to when they say like, oh, a little goes a long way. No, now I need to listen because the first time I tried this, I went full squirt and like my face was like it almost covered the little twigs of eyebrows that I have. I was like, oh my gosh, I literally went overboard. So remember that this, you literally have to listen to when it says a little goes a long way, because that's definitely true. This foundation covers all redness, blemishes. If you have super dark under eyes, I feel like this will cover it great. And if you use it as foundation and then decide to use it to cover that up as concealer, that'll work well too. It is a buildable foundation. And if you build it a little bit more, I still don't feel like it feels super heavy. Like I said, that first day that I applied a lot, it didn't look cakey. It didn't look super like crazy heavy on my skin, and it didn't feel that way either, which I was pretty surprised because normally with my other foundations, I already know what to expect. When I'm doing 2 pumps, I know I can feel it. You know, I know after a while I'll feel it. This one, I didn't feel it on my skin. My skin feels so like just lightweight. It feels like I'm wearing my which one is that? My Physicians Formula Everyday Foundation that literally feels like I'm wearing nothing. That's what this foundation feels like, and that's crazy to me because again, it's a full coverage foundation. Now, in terms of being full coverage, I feel like this is one of the most full coverage foundations that I have tried and that I have in my collection now. And not so much because it's heavy or thick. It's more so because it has very high pigment that gives you that coverage. Like other foundations, they give you the coverage in them being thick, you know, on the skin and being a thick foundation. This one is lightweight and it gives you the coverage, which I think is the best of both worlds. It is recommended for all skin types. I would honestly recommend if you have normal skin, oily skin, combination skin. You guys know I have oily combination, and in the winter I get these ugly dry patches. It's still cold here in California, which honestly I am loving. You know, I love the cold. My heart is cold. I love it. And I do kind of have those dry patches, and it didn't emphasize them. It didn't cling onto them. It didn't show them. It didn't make it look more dry in this area, which I love. I honestly think that it would work for dry skin as well. If you have extremely dry skin, I would recommend you moisturize very, very well before applying this foundation and add a oil, like a face oil. Make sure you apply it, let it sit into your skin, and then go on with applying the foundation with a damp beauty blender, sponge, whatever it may be. Another thing with the foundation, I felt like it looked yellow when I was applying it, and as I blended it out and blended it completely at the end, it does look very yellow on the skin. I'm not going to say that this foundation oxidized, because I don't feel like it turned a shade deeper, and it didn't turn orange either. It just it just kind of like meshed with my skin, and it became my perfect shade, which is crazy. I have never seen that before. That has never happened to me. I don't know what else to say. It did not oxidize. This color looks like a perfect match for me. I have a lot of blemishes down here as well, and a lot of like bumps, and it doesn't emphasize those bumps. As you can see, it's not like a cakey full coverage foundation. It's more of a very pigmented full coverage foundation, because it doesn't make down here look cakey or, you know, weird like other foundations do, which I personally love that so much. Moving on to the concealer, it's very, very creamy. It's a very creamy formula. It blends out so beautifully though, like it's crazy. The formula, I would say, is very liquidy. At the beginning, it did remind me of the Jeffree Star concealer, but if you guys remember in that review, the Jeffree Star concealer, I had to apply 2 layers because the first layer kind of didn't give me that much of a full coverage look. You definitely have to apply like 2 coats of that one. This one, I took the wand out once. I did like my whole concealer routine, and that was it. I didn't have to dip in for more. I didn't have to dip in extra. Like, that was it. So I applied it underneath my eyes. I did my forehead, my nose, my chin, and like my Cupid's bow, like I always do. And after I did all that, I still went in and I blended out like the concealer, and it still had concealer on the wand. And I really, really like that. One little dip, and that's all you need. Again, I feel like the concealer has a very high pigment as well, because it doesn't feel cakey or full coverage in the way that you wouldn't like it. Like, for example, I love this concealer because it's very full coverage. I would say this concealer dries a little bit more matte. This one gives you such a like satin, because if I say dewy and matte, it doesn't make sense. So it gives you like a demi-matte look under the eyes. Your under eyes look very healthy. They look glowy. They just look beautiful. I don't know how else to explain it other than it looks beautiful under the eyes. So I would say this has more pigment and more coverage than the Jeffree Star concealer. And you guys know I do like that concealer, but this one, it's good. So much. I honestly need to stop blabbering, because my end results are that I love this foundation. I love the concealer. I'm so glad that I bought them and I tried them out, because they are amazing. This velvety matte foundation is literally magic, as well as this concealer. I just feel like you guys have to try it out for yourselves and see how it works out for you, because everyone's experiences are different. I personally fell in love with how these worked, and I will continue to use them, definitely. You can find these at Juvias Place. I will leave the links down below to both of them, to their page. And I know Juvias Place is also available at Ulta, although I'm not sure if these are available there yet. But once they do, if you're not sure of the foundation, maybe you can go in and get a sample and test it out before you, you know, buy it. That would be another alternative if you don't want to buy it, or you're indecisive because you either have super oily skin or super dry skin, you know. If you have super oily skin, I will say that you need to set this foundation. Even though it does say it's a full coverage foundation, to me, I feel like it dries again demi matte. So you still have kind of like, not a sheen, but like a glow to the skin. And I personally love that. I love that when you set that, it makes the foundation look even nicer because it doesn't make it look super matte, dry, and flat. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know what your thoughts are on these products, if you would like to try them, or if you tried them already. Let me know in the comments down below how it worked out for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. And like always, I will see you all in my next video. Bye!